It's the Cam Rogers Show with Cam Rogers.
Good morning, good morning, good morning on this Friday, October 6th, 2017. It is indeed the Cam Rogers Show. I am Cam Rogers. We are taking you up until 11 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, or Eastern Daylight Time. That's what it's called. My producer, Brett Scott, has corrected me. Daylight Time. We don't turn the clocks back until later this month. Thanks so much for tuning into the program here. Of course, we are completely live for the next hour, so we want you commenting, engaging, reacting, spatting off about me, making fun of my Tiger Woods shirt. I don't care what it is. Comment, and we'll perhaps throw them up here on the broadcast. Very exciting show. Going to go through the headlines as we always do, and then I have an opening rant about Cam Newton's lack of maturity right now, but it's more deeper than that. There's a lot to get to in terms of that story, a lot of layers to it. Jourdan Rodrigue, we found out, clearly has made some mistakes in her social media and with her word choices. So we're going to talk about that situation later in the show. Tom Downey of Chat Sports coming on the program. We will be mocking. It's never too early for the NFL draft, right? So we're going to be going through some picks for the first round. Tom Downey, the 12th ranked most accurate picker in terms of mock drafts last year. That's in terms of the world rankings. So he's bringing a big-time resume to the show. So we're excited to have him on the program as well. And we are doing NFL Boom and Bruh. So NFL Boom, of course, the big plays from Week 4. We'll show them again to you in case you missed them. And NFL Bruh, the head scratchers of Week 4. We'll be showing those as well. And finally, wrapping up the show with my Week 5 picks. It was a disgusting week for me picking in Week 4. I feel pretty good about Week 5. Actually, folks, I'm feeling a sweep. I really am. I think I'm going to go 14-0 this week. I'm already 1-0 with the Patriots winning last night on Thursday Night Football. So, feeling good. So, here we go. Let's move along here with the Cam Rogers Show. Oh, before I do, real quick, before I get into the Patriots and the Buccaneers there, you can download the podcast version of this show. Just search the Cam Rogers Show on iTunes and Android. And you can get the video version on iTunes. That, again, the Cam Rogers Show live. So that's for the video podcast. As we do indeed move along here to the New England Patriots taking on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They won this one 19-14 on Thursday Night Football. Look, this is the theme of Thursday Night Football, usually low-scoring affairs. But Tom Brady, through his typical amount of 40 passes for 303 yards and a touchdown. Doug Martin returned with 13 carries, 74 yards, and a touchdown. Nick Folk, kicker for the Buccaneers, missed all 3 of his field goals in this one. If he made just 2 of those 3, the Buccaneers would have won. So the New England Patriots improved to 3-2 on the year. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers, they fall to 2-2. Remember, they had to postpone that game earlier this year due to a hurricane situation. So the Buccaneers have played one less game than the Patriots. But for Tampa Bay, Jameis Winston throwing the ball 46 times. That's way too much. You know they want to run the football, control the clock, and keep Tom Brady and company off the field. The Patriots didn't look too hot in this one. They really haven't been all that impressive the last couple of weeks. They didn't look great against the Panthers at all a week ago. And just last night, 19 points against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers defense without Levante David. Gerald McCoy got hurt. No TJ Ward in that game either. I don't know. Red flags perhaps for the Patriots still, or the orange flags are starting to turn red, if you will. So the Patriots do indeed escape with the victory there, and we bring in the reaction poll. Who is the favorite in the AFC? I want you weighing in here. Give us a heart for the Patriots, a wow face for the Chiefs, a laughing face for the Steelers, a sad face for the Broncos. I'll tell you what, it's not the Patriots right now. I don't think it's the Steelers right now because they have some offensive woes where Antonio Brown is flipping out on the sideline because he's not getting fed. The Denver Broncos looked pretty darn impressive against the Raiders. You're almost by default forced to take the Chiefs here, but I challenge you to not pick the Chiefs when you vote in this reaction poll because we have seen what they can't do in the playoffs, and that's win games. So, of course, you can do the wow face if you want for the Chiefs, but I challenge you to select another team and, hey, throw the reason why. So react and then comment in the section in terms of why you are choosing that particular team in the AFC. There's a lot of turnover, a lot of shifting in the power rankings in terms of the National Football League, but particularly the AFC right now. A lot of question marks, a lot of wondering. So I wonder what you think. So certainly weigh in as we go along here, and we'll be tracking. Let's go on to the next headline here. I really don't know if there's any there to hold this, but Rick Pitino, folks, took in 98% of the cash in the expiring Adidas shoe deal with Louisville basketball. What does that mean? Honestly, I really don't know. I mean, look, there's a new contract that's coming in, an Adidas spokesperson saying that the terms are now different. Yeah, I would expect that. I mean, I would think that the terms would be different with Rick Pitino gone and all that, but still, I said this morning in our production meeting, it's kindling to the fire of this whole college basketball situation and recruiting. And Louisville, of course, has been under the gun, especially in regards to this story. So Rick Pitino, back in the headlines again in regards to the Adidas shoe deal and Adidas influence with recruits. So there you go. Let's move on to baseball here. Playoff baseball, always an exciting time. And in the ALDS, the Indians took down the Yankees 4-0. How about Trevor Bauer? The guy absolutely balled out, threw lights out, was a no-hitter going into the sixth inning. Yeah, and the Yankees got their first hit in that sixth inning. Bauer lasted 6 2/3. They obviously want to save his arm going forward. 8 strikeouts in that one for Bauer as well. Aaron Judge, 0 for 4. With 4 strikeouts, so he accounted for half of that total for Bauer. I know, I can do math. So the Indians off to a good start against the Yankees in the ALDS. How about the Astros? They too were off to a hot start. They clobbered the Red Sox 8-2. Chris Sale got roughed up, 7 earned runs on 5 innings. Meanwhile, Justin Verlander went 6 innings, only giving up 2 earned on 6 hits. That's good enough for the Astros. Jose Altuve with a few home runs in that one, 3 to be exact, to propel the Astros to a 1-0 lead. And that leads us to this question, this reaction poll. Who's the World Series favorite right now? You got the Astros, you got the Dodgers, you got the Nationals, and you got other. So a heart for the Astros, wow face for the Dodgers, a laughing face for the Nationals, and a sad face for another team. Very, very interesting. And I think the Astros really made a case for themselves yesterday against the Red Sox. We'll see if they can continue that momentum. We'll see if the Indians can continue that momentum. So I'm sure a lot of Indians fans will be doing the other sad emoji, or sad reaction, if you will. So there you go. Who's the World Series favorite? Weigh in, and we will track your responses. All right, it's time for the opening rant here on the Cam Rogers Show. Cam, not me, you. Cam Newton. From one Cam to another, my man, you just don't get it, do you? And folks, you know what I'm talking about at this point. It's in regards to the press conference a couple of days ago where a reporter for the Charlotte Observer asked a question about Devin Funchess and his route running. Cam Newton saying some poor choice of words. Let's roll it.
Devin Funchess has seemed to really embrace the physicality of his routes and getting those extra yards. Does that give you a little bit of an enjoyment to see him kind of truck sticking people out there?
It's funny to hear a female talk about routes. Like, it's funny.
Apparently it's 1920 in Cam's mind. That was cringeworthy to watch. Like, first of all, if he was trying to make a joke, fine. But the grin after and the, lean back, like I'm better than you kind of positioning, that's not what you want to see. Now, is this a big deal? Will this affect women's success in sports media? Of course not. Of course not. But Cam Newton needs to realize that he is in a position of influence. All right? He's the quarterback of the Carolina Panthers, a team that was recently in a Super Bowl, in Super Bowl 50. And the argument I'm making is not that America has a right to give him all this backlash and all that. The point is, this is the America that we live in, Cam. It's the ultra-sensitive kind of deal where anything can be parsed and picked apart and analyzed, and you will get backlash for it. That's what Cam Newton needs to realize. This is the society that we are in now. It's not going to change. And so Cam Newton, wow, I thought I hit puberty already, has a position of influence. And so he needs to realize that. He needs to adapt and choose his words carefully. You know, I said jokingly he needs to be on a 10-second time delay to think about things for 10 seconds before he says them. But I want to ask you this. Here's the weigh-in. Is America too sensitive, or is Cam Newton's backlash warranted? And again, this opening rant isn't necessarily about that question. My point is, this is the way in which America operates. We get ultra-sensitive a lot of times over things that probably aren't worthy of such. And so Cam Newton and other people out there, other quarterbacks, other people in positions of power, if you will, need to understand that. They need to adapt, and they need to choose their words carefully. Because there will always be social media freakouts. There will always be the media lashing out. And whether it's right or wrong, I'm not here to say. I'm not Mr. Moral Compass here. I'm not trying to be. What I'm saying is, this is the way it is. And so, Cam, you just got to choose your words carefully. I know maybe you were trying to make a joke or what have you, but there's just no incentive for you to say that. I mean, what is the reasoning behind you saying that? Did you really think people would laugh in the press conference? Did you think people in the locker room, your fellow players, would give you high fives for a funny joke? Nothing good can come from a statement like that. The only thing that can come from a statement like that is backlash. Losing sponsorships. Dannon, the yogurt company, gonged Cam yesterday. So no more Oikos commercials with Cam Newton. And, of course, he submitted an apology. We'll be playing that later. But certainly weigh in with your comments. Is America too sensitive, or is Cam Newton backlash warranted? I do want to know. And we do have the tweet from reporter Jourdan Rodrigue here, where she's chiming in the situation, and we'll roll it up right here, saying, quote, "I don't think it's funny to be a female and talk about routes. I think it's my job." Jourdan, you are absolutely right. You're absolutely right. It shouldn't be funny. It is your job to talk about routes, and I'm on your side for that one tweet. Now, we will learn later that Jourdan Rodrigue is no saint either. So we'll be showing some interesting statements that she has made in the past as well. But, folks, it's a cycle. This is where we're at. So here's how it goes. Person says something seemingly bad. Whether you think so or not is beside the point. I'm not here to say. The backlash ensues. A generic statement is released by a PR team or what have you. And then the person submits an apology. Cam Newton completed that cycle last night. Here's the apology.
To the journalists, to the moms, super moms, to the daughters, the sisters, and the women all around the world, I sincerely apologize and hope that you can find the kindness in your heart to forgive me. Thank you.
Okay, so Cam Newton released that apology on his Twitter last night. There you go. There's the graphic cycle. Poor word choice, the backlash, the PR statement, and the apology from the perpetrator themselves. We're good. The cycle's done, folks. It's all over, right? Well, it seems like there's a lot more layers to this than I originally realized. Now, first of all, do I believe Cam's apology? Yes, I do. I do believe his apology. I think he certainly is regretful, is remorseful about his actions, about his words. But this is a pattern for Cam. This isn't one incident where Cam was trying to be funny and it just went wrong. There are a series of events. There are patterns here, a habitual kind of connotation to everything that Cam has done in terms of his immaturity. Let's look back at Super Bowl 50 after the loss against the Denver Broncos. Cam walked out.
Coming in, and it's got to be real tough for everybody on locker room.
Load the box, force y'all to throw the ball. So you throw the football. And that was the game plan. Load the box, one-on-one man outside. They got a couple of big plays, but I feel like
part of pattern, right? It's habitual. It's a character problem, folks. Cam Newton needs to realize that. I hope this recent incident makes him just sit back for a second and realize that he's going to have to change his character a little bit. Maybe it is just who he is and we have to all move on with our lives. I don't know. But I think the best course of action for Cam is to kind of look at himself in the mirror and look at these past incidents, put them together and say, okay, what can I do better going forward? And again, that apology last night seemed pretty heartfelt, but we'll see in time because it's more about the actions that follow than the words necessarily. Let's go to an example again here where this is a year later, October 2016, and Cam Newton walking out again.
After tying it up there late in the fourth quarter, how frustrating is it to be on the sideline helpless watching?
Next question.
Where does the team go from here, Cam?
Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, Eli Manning, all of these quarterbacks will go in front of reporters after tough losses, answer questions with dignity, and move along. You never see that from those players. You've seen it with Cam Newton, and with the transgressions earlier this week, it's more fuel to the fire. It adds on to that narrative of Cam's immaturity. Cam needs long-term solutions here. And the Twitter apology isn't going to fix this. It's a nice little Band-Aid approach for now. But overall, it's a character issue that I think Cam needs to address. We all have our flaws, which leads me to Miss Jourdan Rodrigue here, where, of course, Twitter doing Twitter things dug up some pretty bad stuff from Jourdan. Now, Jourdan has said some racist stuff on Twitter before. Let's pull up one of the tweets where she is replying to somebody on Twitter. This is August 2013, saying her dad is the best. Racist jokes the whole drive home. Oh, Jourdan, what are you doing? Why haven't you deleted those? You're a professional in journalism. You know people are going to dig this stuff up. You can't play the victim now because now there is some ammo against you. So there's another layer of this whole situation as we bring in a weigh-in. What do you make of Rodrigue's racist tweets, right? So Cam Newton making a mistake in terms of calling out that reporter, Jourdan, and Twitter doing what Twitter does, going into the history books and pulling out these racist tweets. I didn't want to pull up the other one where she drops the N-word. I didn't even want to show that on screen because I don't want to just give her that sort of platform. Where are we at in the world now, folks? Where are we at? This is all so confusing to me because there are so many different directions that the story is going, so many different layers, and I think that Sam Ponder of ESPN really hit the nail on the head. Let's roll the tweet here of Sam Ponder. Sam Ponder saying, quote, social media challenges our worldview in so many ways. Do people who make sexist and racist comments deserve forgiveness, employment, platforms, who decides, who casts the first stone, whose version of morality matters most? I need a nap. Sam Ponder, from Cam Rogers to you, thank you, thank you, thank you for saying what everybody is thinking right now. Sam, I think we need to create a diagram of some sort and kind of web everything out because I am confused as well. My brain is mush. Who is the morality compass? Where do things lie under certain categories? And I think this story is a perfect example. With Cam and Jourdan Rodrigue, both of them have made mistakes. Hopefully, both of them move forward and learn from them. We all make mistakes. It's just human nature. Let's get a long-term solution. Let's all be better people. And there you go. Once again, thank you, Sam Ponder. You got it. You got it big time. I'm glad I saw that tweet. All right, that's the opening rant. It's time for a little NFL boom here. So we're going to take a look at some of the big-time plays across Week 4 in the NFL. Let's take a look.
Some fun ones in this one here. Bilal Powell, he was not touched down on this play. Bilal Powell goes all the way to the end zone for the score. He wasn't actually touched.
The Jags could have fooled me.
Yeah, like it looked like he was touched, but after review, he just kind of went over that guy. No one actually got him. Got to always keep playing there. Some Raiders highlights here, some positive ones for you. Derek Carr, this is a beautiful bomb to Johnny Holton, the backup receiver who was the last receiver to make the roster. Almost fell, but he stayed on his feet, and that's what made it a boom and not a bruh play.
Great throw.
Todd Gurley, first off, watch the crackback block that comes here. Right there.
Bam.
Lit up. Gurley into the end zone for the score. The Rams stunned the Cowboys. And you can see another good angle here. Jeff Heath, by the way, got his ankles broken.
Ooh.
He's been brutal. Great crackback block there as well. Ezekiel Elliott, saw this in the Cowboys-Rams play as well. Nice broken tackle. Dives the end zone for the score. But it's all about the celebration. Look at that.
This is important.
Pulls out the towel, uses it as a bib, and he gets fed. The Cowboys forgot about that, though, in the second half, and that's why they lost this game.
Clean yourself, Zeke.
Dak Prescott, I don't know how he did that. Aaron Donald had him dead to rights, and instead Prescott escapes and then throws off balance across his body to Dak Prescott. Like the one thing you're never supposed to do.
Quarterback one-on-one.
You're never supposed to do that, but it's okay because it worked. So we will allow it. Prescott's helmet kind of got a little bit, he adjusted it mid-play.
Yeah.
And just unbelievable play there from Dak Prescott. Bills, by the way, great win. Heads-up play here by Tre'Davious White. Picks it up, and he will run it all the way back the other way for the score. Great play there by the Bills. Tre'Davious White there, impressive move there from White. Head now to the Bengals game here. This is Tyler Kroft, the backup tight end. He gets flipped up and still is onto the ball.
That's great.
Unreal catch from Tyler Kroft. Decent throw from Andy Dalton there in double coverage. I'm kind of surprised Kroft held onto that ball, though.
That's got some serious pause.
Oh, that's impressive to get hit like that upended.
Kind of looked like Eifert out there,
yeah,
dare I say.
Although he didn't get hurt along the way.
There you go.
This is Dylan Cole, the rookie. Picks off Matt Castle.
Give me that football.
Who's awful, and he runs it all the way back and ends up for the score. Great player. Another player for Dylan. We'll show it to you one more time. The Titans were just kind of ducked out of the way. I guess he didn't want the ball.
Yeah, Mariota throwing off his back foot.
Castle.
That was the team.
Look at this fake punt. This is Lack Edwards, the punter, to Marcus Williams, the corner, making guys miss. Almost got tackled by his own man, but he got down. By the way, this came with 20 seconds left at 4th and 21 at their own 47-yard line. That's gutsy as all get out.
Must feel great to be a Jets player, huh?
I can't believe they had the cojones to run that play. Nick Folk.
He made a field goal?
He missed 3, but he made this one and ended up being the game winner.
Oh, I see, okay.
And then here we have the Jets kicker. This is Chandler Catanzaro. He gets redemption on this play. And the Jets escape with a win against the Jaguars there. Chandler Catanzaro, cannot believe he is able to do that after being so bad for the Jags last year. And then this one's Graham Gano. They stunned the Patriots in the process.
Wow. Crazy. In Gillette. Unbelievable.
And, Graham Gano, I'm very impressed by the Panthers in that game. This is LeGarrette Blount as he goes beast mode on this one, making some guys miss, breaking tackles. The stiff arm there would not go down. 20 kept trying, but LeGarrette Blount kept breaking tackles on this one.
It gets better, Chargers fans. I swear, it does.
It does indeed. All right, this is Hunter Henry, the diving, unreal catch there. This is actually ruled incomplete, but after review, 1 foot, 2 foot, that's a catch.
Wow, what a play. Great to see him coming back and making plays.
Yeah, how about that one right there? Go figure, huh?
Good
beautiful,
Lord.
beautiful play.
Full extension. Count it. You know, Antonio Gates couldn't do that. He's too old.
A.J. Derby here. Look at this. This is a true one-handed catch.
It.
He never put his left hand on the ball.
You can't do that. That's not physically possible.
That's how you do it. That's how you do a one-handed catch there. Beautiful play.
It's all because of the glue on those gloves.
Oh, those gloves are so sticky, but it still counts. That was beautiful, though. And then Eli Manning, folks, he is an elite athlete. Look at him go.
There you go, Eli.
I can't believe he did that. He's so slow. The Bucks were not ready at all for that, though. Like, the seas parted.
He actually had a pocket, too. And there you go. Boom goes the dynamite across week 4 in the NFL. We got the guy, Tom Downey, alongside here. A little NFL mock draft time.
My favorite thing in the world.
Never too early for you.
It never is. I do one right after the draft ends.
Of course you do. The way too
Way
early.
too early. Or
By
too
the way,
late, depending on which way you look at it.
Before we move on to that, I think it's hilarious that we had the caption Nick Folk Redemption in the boom.
He won the game last week.
That's
and
true.
Then
he better
this
be
week
in
he
Bra
did.
this week.
Oh, well, this week, oh yeah. He's going to
After
just
last
a
night.
supercut of all those missed kicks right there.
So, folks, let's bring in a little bio here about Tom Downey. He was ranked tied for 12th last year in mock draft accuracy. Is that on your resume? It better be.
Yeah, kind of.
Follow him on Twitter at WhatGoingDowney.
Nope, Mel Kiper's got nothing on me.
There you go. So, Tom.
I love the photo, too, he used, by the way.
Yeah, that's going to be all over Twitter. You know that, right?
That is from freshman year of college right there.
TBT.
Oh, yeah. It's a great photo.
I'm going to guess you're not sober in that picture either.
Actually, I was.
Oh, wow. All right. There you
I don't know if
go.
that makes it worse or better.
A lead writer right there, Tom Downey, getting it done in freshman year of college. Now, Tom, I will preface this discussion with the fact that we are basing this order here on the current records in the NFL minus last night's game.
Yes, so
Okay?
no yelling at us that the Patriots are kind of low. This is just if the season ended Wednesday, here's where the teams would have been drafting.
Okay, all right.
So no adding us on Twitter complaining.
Yeah, there you go. So, ready to get to it?
Yeah, let's do it.
So, picking number 1 overall right now, the Cleveland Browns. Of course they are, right? And you've got Sam Darnold, quarterback for USC, Tom.
So if the Browns end up with the first overall pick, I think one of two things happened. It means that A, Deshaun Kaiser did not play very well. He didn't show enough improvement.
True.
In that case, they're going to take a QB and just say, sorry, Deshaun, it's Jimmy Clausen all over again. Or they trade the pick. And I think right now, even though he has turnover issues, even though his release is slow, I think Darnold's the best quarterback prospect right now. I think he has the leadership, he has the size, and enough of the tools that teams love. I think that Darnold, even with his issues, I think he's still the top quarterback right now, and quarterbacks always go earlier than they should in the draft.
So with Darnold going number 1 overall in your mock draft, Tom, that may not necessarily mean you think he's the best prospect.
I do not think he is the best prospect.
Okay, so with that, we have the weigh-in for you folks. Who's the top prospect for the 2018 draft? Tom, who is it?
I mean, I can't believe I'm saying this because I typically don't value this position all that high during the draft. I think it's Saquon Barkley.
Wow.
I mean, he has done unreal things this year, and look, the way I view players are going to change throughout this process. It'll change from next week. It'll change for quite a while. Anyone who tells you that someone is guaranteed the best prospect, they're lying through their teeth. Too much changes. There's still a significant chunk of the season to go, a whole bunch of off-field stuff to get to, a whole bunch of combine and all that. So everything's going to change from now until the actual draft. But I think Barkley on offense and a guy I love in the defensive secondary, Derwin James on defense.
Yes, Florida State. Yes.
Who we will get to in a little bit.
Absolutely. So there you go. Sam Darnold going off the board at number 1. On to number 2 here, another quarterback. We've got Josh Rosen, QB for UCLA. You like him?
Physical tools are all there. He's a classic pocket passer. He has the arm strength. The accuracy has been much improved this year. There had been some buzz before this year about some maturity, some leadership things. It seems that that's no longer an issue. So if Rosen keeps playing well, and he's carrying this UCLA offense right now.
No offensive line in UCLA right now.
No defense either. Rosen has carried the UCLA football team. If he continues to play well, he will remain in the mix for the first overall pick.
Okay, so there you go. Niners taking Rosen. Moving on to the Giants at number 3. Look, Saquon Barkley is magical, but could he make any difference with that line?
The Giants should go offensive line, but after what they did last year, maybe they don't value it as much as they should. Maybe they're kind of taking a Seattle approach, which is not a good route. But Barkley would be a lockdown future dynamite 3-down back for the Giants. Then that's something they don't have right now, and something they haven't had in a while. Because Paul Perkins, Wayne Gallman, Orleans Darkwa, that's not getting the job done. A guy like Barkley would be a huge boost for the Giants' offense. And they clearly like adding shiny pieces for their offense.
Sure.
That's what they've done the past few years.
You like him more than Zeke and Fournette?
I do.
Wow.
I do. And look, that can still change, if Barkley starts fumbling ball over the place. But look, Fournette was an Adrian Peterson type. He was not great coming out of the backfield. Elliott could block. He wasn't that great in the passing game. Some people try to tell me that he was, but that's not what I saw on tape at OSU. Barkley can do everything, and his stop-start ability is unreal.
All right, there you go. Giants taking Barkley at number 3. On to number 4 here, the Los Angeles Chargers. And you like this playmaker
I
a lot.
love Derwin James. He needs to work on his ball skills. He's not going to, have a bunch of interceptions, but I think James is going to be a guy who can play nickel corner, outside corner, boundary corner, free safety, strong safety. He is as versatile as they come, and he will make plays in the backfield. He is a matchup nightmare for a defense. That's not something we often see, but he can match up against a bunch of different players. He's an impact player in the secondary. I think he'd be a safety in the NFL. Those guys don't always go that high, but I think Derwin James is that type of player.
So there you go. Certainly getting it done for Florida State so far this year. On to number 5, Connor Williams. Please protect Luck, right?
Yeah, and I like Connor a lot. He's banged up right now, which could end up impacting his draft stock more than you'd like to see. I think in addition to that, he's in his 3rd scheme in 3 years at Texas, which is a lot to have for one guy to be thrown at in that time. He was a little iffy to start the year. If he comes back, I think he'll be in much better spot. I think that Connor is the best tackle prospect in this year's class, and it's shaping up to be a much better one than we've seen last year, which was a terrible offensive line class.
Hey, by the way, Donnie chiming in on the broadcast, Tom, saying it sounds like we have been playing the game for 30 years, but we haven't, and so we're just not qualified. We're losers, Tom. We're losers.
He didn't say losers.
He said something worse.
He said a different word there. Donnie, look, come on, man.
Hey, thanks for watching, Donnie. We appreciate it.
That's just uncalled for. Come on, man.
Oh, boy. Let's
screenshot that, put it in bruh this week.
There you go. Let's summarize the picks so far. Sam Darnold to the Browns, Rosen to the Niners, Barkley to the Giants. A lot of playmakers there. Derwin James at number 4 to the Los Angeles Chargers. And we're going to go summary the rest of the way here just to move things along, Tom. So here's 5 through 8. And you got Orlando Brown there, offensive tackle from Oklahoma. Look, the Bengals need a lot of help on that line.
And Brown is an interesting player because he is a massive human being. He's 6'8", 360. We'll see if that's actually how big he is come combine time, but he looks that big on film. He's massive, but he's actually got quick enough feet, and he's done a pretty good job at left tackle for Oklahoma. I don't know if he can stick there in the NFL, but his pass protection's been pretty good. I'm willing to give him a shot, and the Bengals need that help so badly.
You got a couple edge rushers there for the Bears and the Dolphins, respectively. The Bears, they're actually ranked 9th in total defense, which isn't too bad, but you like Key out of LSU.
I think Floyd and Key would be a dynamic 1-2 punch at edge rusher. I think the Bears need more impact defensive players, and Key is the best one on the board right now.
All right, and then you have Landry there from BC going to Miami. Anything sticking out about him?
He could have gone pro last year and I think been a first-round pick. He's got that quick twitch off the edge.
All right, so there you go. 5 through 8. Let's go to 9 through 12. My Baltimore Ravens. You're going with a value pick for Baltimore, not necessarily a position of need here.
Yeah, look, I think Christian is a John Allen type defensive tackle, and I think he'll be a great 3-4 defensive end for Baltimore. Remember, they traded away Timmy Jernigan.
Yep.
I would have liked I think a receiver if Baltimore ends up finishing closer to like 15 or something like that. I think a receiver makes a little bit more sense. With the value I thought was too good, Wilkins is going to be, I think, the best interior defensive lineman in this year's class.
By the way, is there a must-get wide receiver in this first round?
I don't know if there's must-get. I think there are some very quality ones, but there's not a Sammy Watkins type like there was a few years ago. I don't think there's that caliber of receiver this year. Some very good guys worth first-round picks, and we'll get to them later on.
Okay, all right. Well, there's Josh Allen there, quarterback from Wyoming. Haven't heard much about him, Tom. What's the latest?
I'm pretty unimpressed by what I've seen from Allen this year. He's just not accurate. And look, but NFL teams are going to view him as, this is the guy that I can make into an elite quarterback because he has the size, the arm, the mobility. He has all the physical tools, but he's just not accurate. And I think that's a big deal for me. Has the tools, super raw, a classic Bruce Arians quarterback, by the way.
There you go. Exactly.
Arians will love this kid.
You have Allen going to the Cardinals at 10, and I will say this about the Seahawks. If there is a team that needs to reach for a position, it's the Seahawks for offensive guard.
Just take an offensive lineman. I don't outside of center because Britt's very good. But Nelson, I think, is the top offensive lineman on Notre Dame.
Okay.
We'll get to another one later on here in just a little bit. Nelson, I think, can be a day one starter at guard. I know that they've got some players there who aren't as terrible as maybe their tackles, but getting a guard and having a guy who can actually start and be a good player, they have to do it. But knowing Seattle, they'll take like a corner or something. because they just don't value
Mistakes
offensive
will be
line.
made.
They just don't value it.
At number 12 there for the Browns, again, Minka Fitzpatrick, defensive back for Alabama.
I think he could actually move down to corner for the Browns or kind of stay as a free safety and pair with Peppers. But Joe Hayden's gone. The Browns need a legit number 1 corner. Fitzpatrick can be that guy. He's another versatile secondary player.
And the Browns getting that pick from the Texans there.
Yes.
Let's move on to 13 through 16. There's Lamar going to Jacksonville.
I just wish he was more accurate.
Okay.
Like if he could complete 65% of his passes this year, and he's gone back down after a pretty rough game against NC State, if he can complete 65%, I think he goes top 10 for sure. Like anyone who tries to tell you that Lamar Jackson needs to move to receiver, they are incorrect. Jackson has the arm strength. He's a little thin, but I think this is an example of a guy who can kind of be the exception to the mobile quarterback kind of bias a little bit. He has the arm strength. He has flashes of accuracy. If he can become more consistent within the pocket, I think he's going to be a really good player. It's a risk. There's no doubt a risk here. That's why he's not in the top 10. But I think a team like Jacksonville, I mean, with Blake Bortles as your quarterback,
What can you lose
at this
at
point,
this
it's
point?
worth taking the chance on him.
A friendly reminder, folks, we are talking with Tom Downey here on the Cam Rogers Show, going through the NFL mock draft. Tom, of course, the 12th ranked mock drafter last year in the whole world. So we thank Tom for coming on.
Now I got to back it up again.
Yeah, you got to get to like 11, maybe 8.
Hey,
how about 1?
Had I kept Garyon Conley with the Oakland Raiders, I made that change late.
Okay.
Because of the whole incident off the field that ended up being not accurate. I would have been like 8th.
Okay.
I would have been
All
8th.
right.
So I was close.
So let's move on here. We got the Cowboys at 14. Bradley Chubb, defensive end, NC State.
He looked really good against Louisville last night. This is a really good player. I think he's going to move up in my next version. Look, the Cowboys are going to keep investing high picks in defensive end. Tank Lawrence has been great. He's also a free agent. Tucker Charlton has not looked that good. David Irving, we'll see if he's going to be a long-term piece. I think he has some upside, but at this point, if you're picking top 15, take the last notable edge rusher here in this class.
I will touch upon, finally, on this graphic here, Mason Rudolph, quarterback. He's going at number 15 to the New York Football Jets.
Look, the Jets, this is a reach, but we know that Christian Hagenberg is not the answer. Mason has the iffy arm strength that kind of comes and goes, but he's a big play guy. The Jets should probably be tanking. They're not tanking. It kind of costs them one of the top-tier QBs. But I think there's a decent chance we do see 5 QBs go in the first round this year.
At number 16 for the Saints, Sam Hubbard, defensive end out of Ohio State there.
I like Sam a lot. He hasn't quite developed in the way that I think he can. I'm kind of hoping for a Taco Charlton-esque second half for Sam this year.
Okay.
Because this is a former safety, now playing defensive end. I'd like to see him be a little bit more productive coming off the edge, but this is a really good OSU defensive line. They could have 2 guys going first round. I think you could see 3 on day 1 or 2.
And a
it's
reminder,
a very
of
strong
course,
group.
If you were wondering about this ordering here, folks, it's based off of the records after week 4 in the NFL. We did not include last night's game between the Patriots and the Buccaneers because it really wouldn't make much sense. Of course, we have commenters flowing in. Let's start off with Preston Wallace. Lamar Jackson isn't going to go pro, Tom.
First off, I love his profile picture. That is hilarious.
That's
Preston.
so interesting.
Oh, I think there's a pretty decent chance that Lamar does go pro. I think another year might be good for him, but if you're going to be a first-round pick as a quarterback at his age, you go pro.
How about last night's game, though, Tom? I mean, does the stock change at all for you?
No, because this is what I expect from Lamar Jackson. Like,
Okay.
against better teams, he has a tendency to struggle with his accuracy. We saw it against Clemson. He completed 50% at some garbage time. He's making a lot of plays on the ground through the air because he's carrying the team around him. The Louisville receiving corps is plagued by drops this year.
Yeah.
It's just not good.
Yeah. All right, let's move on. 17 through 20 here. Malik Jefferson, linebacker out of Texas.
Finally capitalizing on his potential. Please, Oakland, don't be like the Giants. Actually invest in linebackers. Please.
They have a rough front 7 right now. Not a lot of pass rushing ability at this juncture. So Oakland taking Jefferson at number 17. On to number 18. Tavares McFadden, cornerback out of FSU. Tom, a lot of young corners there in Minnesota. Trey Wayne's not getting it done.
Trey Waynes has been pretty disappointing to me.
Yeah.
He hasn't really capitalized on his potential. I think that McFadden can come in, maybe be a starter, because outside of Xavier Rhodes, the Vikings secondary can be a little iffy.
There is Christian Kirk, wide receiver, the first one off the board at number 19, going to Washington. The Redskins right now with Jamison Crowder. They have Terrell Pryor.
Pending free agent.
There you go. What is Kirk?
I don't think Kirk is the best receiver in this year's class. I think that's another guy that we'll get to here in a bit. But I think he's a better fit right now for the Redskins. It gives them a Deshaun Jackson type. He's dynamic. He can help on returns. He's a big play threat.
So there you go. At number 19, Mike McGlinchey, offensive tackle to Tampa.
I don't know if he can be a left tackle in the NFL. I'm worried about his ability to hold up speed. The Georgia game, I did not think he looked very good at all, but I think he's worth trying at left tackle, and I don't think Donovan Smith is the answer for Tampa Bay.
The Tampa Bay offensive line
I don't think he's been that good. DeMar Dotson at right tackle has been pretty solid. I'm not a big Donovan Smith guy.
Okay, 17 through 20 right there. As we shift over to 21 through 24, there are the Patriots, but we'll start off with the Titans. Alexander, cornerback out of Louisville. They need help back there.
It's not a great year for corner and edge. I think that of the corner edge spots, I think the Titans' two biggest needs right now because the pass defense has not looked very good. I think Alexander's the better guy. He's been banged up for a little bit this year.
And Jerome Baker, linebacker out of OSU, going to New England. Is he a pass rusher, Tom? Because Patriots need help there.
Inside guy, but I think that they need inside help too.
Okay.
And I think that outside of Donta Hightower, who's been playing a lot of edge rusher, New England's interior backers just have not been good.
At number 23 there, you have the Los Angeles Rams. Trey Adams could go opposite of Whitworth.
And I think then take over for Whit.
Okay.
Once he
Offensive
retires.
tackle.
Adams might end up going higher in the actual draft. I've been hearing some good things on Adams.
So there you go. And on to number 24, Tremaine Edmonds, linebacker out of Virginia Tech, going to Pittsburgh.
I've been really impressed by Edmonds this year. He's got 4.5 tackles for loss, 1.5 sacks. Last year he had 16.5 tackles for loss coming from the inside linebacker spot. I think he and Shazier would be a really good 1-2 punch.
And of course, folks, bring in those comments as we go through here. And we are moving on to number 25 through 28. We'll start with the Eagles. There he is, Darius Geis, running back out of LSU.
Just use him properly.
Yeah.
I think he and a Wendell Small would be a really good 1-2 punch for Philly because Small was not a 3-down back. I think they hate LeGarrette Blount still. So I think a guy like Geis at this point in the draft is really good value. It'd be a fantastic fit.
Number 26 for the Lions, a defensive tackle out of Michigan here, Hurst.
The Lions always give me issues because I don't really know what to do with them in my mock drafts, but I think they need someone to pair with Ashawn Robinson. Hurst, I think, can be a good partner there.
And you have the Panthers and the Broncos picking 27th and 28th, respectively. Rankin, offensive tackle for the Panthers, a nose guard for the Broncos, and Vita Vea. Is that how you say it?
I do, and I like Vea a lot. Look, the Broncos' run defense has been a lot better than I thought it was going to be this year, but I think they still need a true young nose guard. And I think Vea at this point, it's a little high for a nose guard, but he's a talented kid. Maybe he's only a 2-down player, but he is going to clog lanes so well. He'd be a perfect fit in Denver.
Denver, not a lot of size on that front seven, so he could certainly bring that for sure. Let's move on to a commenter here. We got Caleb saying the Steelers don't need a linebacker. Vince is good.
Vince has been fine. I was a little surprised that the Steelers didn't upgrade inside linebacker this year. They clearly like Vince Williams, so maybe they continue to stick with him. But I'm not a true believer in Vince right now. I think Shazier's better. I think Edmonds would be an upgrade. If the Steelers go elsewhere and they want to stick with Vince, I get it.
Okay, so there you go. It looks like he's a Steelers fan, so he believes in Vince right now. Let's move on to Cody Greer. Nick Chubb, first round. Don't at me.
Not happen.
Not happening,
Not
says
happen.
Tom.
He doesn't have the speed anymore, and the knee injuries and the previous injuries that Chubb has suffered is going to be a big concern for teams. Also, it's his workload. He's carried quite a bit at Georgia. Teams want young, fresh halfbacks who don't have any injuries. I'll be very, very surprised if Chubb goes in the first round.
Okay, so there you go. Don't at me, says Cody. I think he'll be...
I guess I kind of added you, Cody, so I'm sorry.
He'll be adding you after this show right now. Let's wrap up the mock draft here. Packers, Bills, Falcons, then Bills again. You got the Packers going with Sutton, wide receiver.
Look, it's a little weird, but Devontae Adams is going to be a free agent, and we've seen Packers let guys like James Jones and Greg Jennings leave in the past.
Yep.
Jordy Adams is aging. I'm not a big fan of the depth unless you think Geronimo Allison is actually a good player, which I kind of don't. So Sutton, this is a really good value for him. He could easily go top 20, I think. I think this is kind of the Will Fuller, Josh Dotson type class where the receivers kind of fall maybe just a little bit. But Sutton has great size, a true outside guy. Only 20 catches this year, so not quite as good as last year, but 7 have gone for TDs. So he's going to be a red zone monster.
So what I'm seeing, Tom, is there's going to be a point where the wide receivers just go, 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 go.
I
right?
agree. It's going to be heavily dependent on what happens in free agency. The Redskins could be a team that go receiver.
Yep.
And it depends on where these teams are drafting.
So the Bills taking Calvin Ridley there. They are wide receiver thirsty right now, Tom.
And there are several receivers that I left out of this mock draft. EQ St. Brown from Notre Dame. James Washington is perhaps the best big play threat in college.
Right, I thought of him.
In college football. And then I think Ridley is actually older. He's going to be 24 in his first year in the NFL, which is old for a receiver. But he's about as pro prepared as they come. Like, he is going to just come on and be an Amari Cooper type impact player. Maybe not the same upside, but because of his age, but he's going to be really good.
So you see the Bills there twice. The Bills at 32 because they get the pick from the Kansas City Chiefs, so the Chiefs would be there. But at 31, Marcus Allen, safety out of PSU.
I think he and Keanu Neal would be a fantastic 1-2 punch in that back end.
He would go to Atlanta there. Number 32, Dorrance Armstrong, defensive end out of Kansas. A Kansas player in the first round, Tom?
And he's been quiet this year.
Okay.
But everyone forgets about Dorrance Armstrong and how good he was last year. 20 tackles for loss and 10 sacks.
And
like, the dude can play. Now, he's been quiet this year.
Drop.
He needs to start doing better. But I'm a big Dorrance Armstrong fan.
Okay.
He has legitimate edge rusher potential. I need to see more of him this year, though.
All right, Tom Downey, you've heard it here first, folks. The little mock draft action that we have going into Week 5 in the NFL, I think things will change a little bit, Tom.
Oh, yes, they will.
Okay.
They will continue to change all year long.
All right, there you have it. Tom, appreciate it, sir.
Of course.
All right, let's head on to the bra moments, Tom, from
bra.
Week 5 or
bra.
Week 4 in the NFL. Here are the head scratchers. Let's roll it.
We got some good ones here. This had to be on here because we're still going to keep calling out Danny Trevathan for his cheap shot. Suspended for 2 games, as he deserved to be.
Appealing.
Well, as he will. Like, come on, he led with the crown. He intentionally targeted him. He knew what he was doing. He was trying to take out some frustration. There's no need for that. Like, that is the textbook definition of a cheap shot.
That's fair.
So for shame, Danny Trevathan. Look, we had to have one Mike Glennon play. It is time for Mitchell Trubisky. Like, this is just comically bad.
Such a waste of physical ability, Mike. Come on. You're tall, you're big arms, make it happen. God.
Even when the Jets win games, they still have bad moments. Bilal Powell doinks off him. Miles Jack picks up. I was torn between if this was a boom or a bra play, but I thought this was kind of more bra because it was a little swing pass. The Jets couldn't even execute that. They almost blew this game. Jerick McKinnon, you're trying to do the read option. He just loses the ball. Like, I don't think it even touched Dalvin Cook. Like, this was the Wildcat look. I think he just dropped it.
This is why you don't get too cute in the NFL. That's what they were doing. Stop it.
Brutal play there. Jason Witten here. Bryce Butler, Des Bryant celebrating. Witten comes over and, what are you doing, Jason? Let him celebrate.
Oh, Jason.
And Des and Bryce continue once Jason leaves.
The grizzled veteran.
He's such a dad. Like, oh, hey, guys, wait till it's confirmed. Then you guys can celebrate.
Oh,
come on, guys. That's just.
It looks worse because they lost.
Antonio Brown, by the way,
don't do
was really angry in this game because he didn't get the ball. He's upset about this play in particular. That's a touchdown if Big Ben sees him. But he got mad. He threw the Gatorade cooler, and then the coach tried to talk to him, and he was still angry. Antonio Brown was not happy today. Even though the Steelers won, he was not happy. Like,
stop whining, you diva. Wide receivers are such divas, Tom. Antonio Brown, OBJ, all these guys.
He just wants the ball. That's all he wants. By the way, I love angry Phillip Rivers.
He was not mad.
He was mad. He dropped the mouthpiece again. He's all angry. He's yelling at the coach. Takes off his glove. Then he starts yelling into his helmet. Like, I think he was trying to talk to the coordinator upstairs, so he was yelling at him. Like, he was all kinds of mad. Jay Cutler, bottom of your screen.
Wow.
He just don't care. Smoking Jay Cuddy, don't give a damn, folks. Just sitting there, not even paying attention, making it very clear.
Get this guy a lighter.
He just doesn't care.
He's chilling. He's fine.
Watch Matt Ryan. Down he goes.
Oh, Matty.
Matt Ryan. This is an elite NFL athlete, folks.
Instead of Matty Ice, it's Matty Lava on that play, okay?
The floor is lava. Matt Ryan just trips over his own 2 feet.
That's great.
Marquette King, this was all kinds of bad. The fake punt, trying to make something happen. He got nothing. And just Marquette King, no
dancing there, Marquette. Oh,
watch it. You saw it at the end there?
That.
You saw that? We'll show it to you again here. Marquette King, the fake punt, disaster play there. Got nothing.
Okay, that's fair.
He was angry about the play.
Aw, you baby.
So he threw the ball. He got flagged for it.
Oh.
He threw the ball at the Broncos player. You can't do that, Marquette.
Oh, Marquette.
Come on, man. All right.
What do we got here?
So this is a Blake Bortles jersey the Jets fans lit on fire.
That's just cool. Can you imagine
Like,
Bortles' ego right
first
now?
Off, someone's got an Antonio Cromartie jersey on. I think there's a Bills fan right there at the very front.
I think it's a Bills fan doing that.
Speaking of Bills fans, Bills Mafia, guys, step back up this week. There's the table breaking here. 2 different angles on this one here. They were very much fired up. Look, I love your table breaking here, even when you guys do it on purpose. But sometimes, Cam, when they break the table, they don't always mean to break the table. So these two fans are dancing, and then the one starts jumping. That was mistake number one, and down they go.
Gravity and Bills fans sometimes don't mix well.
Oh, down they go there. That is your bruh moments of the week.
And there you go, the head scratcher moments of week 4 in the NFL. That's our bruh segment. We'll have a fresh new batch of boom and bruh in week 5 of the NFL. Also week 6 of college football. So stay tuned on Chat Sports throughout the weekend here as we will find some interesting plays and some fantastic plays at that. All right, folks, it is Friday. It's time to start looking ahead to the games on Sunday afternoon. A lot of interesting matchups here. I am giving you the answer key to the test. My picks for every single NFL game. I am 1-0 so far. Picked the Patriots last night to beat the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Let's look at the first few games here. You got the Bills taking on the Bengals, the Jets versus the Browns, and probably the clunker of the week. The Panthers battling the Lions, a low-key interesting game at that. And the Titans taking on the Dolphins, sans Marcus Mariota, most likely. He has not practiced yet so far, dealing with a hamstring injury. We'll see if he gets some reps, at least in limited fashion today. But for all things considered, it looks like it's going to be Matt Castle at the quarterback position for Tennessee. Let's start off with the Bills and Bengals. Ladies and gentlemen, are the Bills legit? They are ranked number 7 in our power rankings this week. Their resume is fantastic. You look at the last 2 weeks, they beat the Denver Broncos at Orchard Park. Then they go on the road and beat the Falcons in Atlanta. That game against the Falcons is more impressive to me than that win against the Broncos because, not necessarily the location, but a lot of times when an NFL team that is not used to success wins a big game, that following week, there's a bit of a letdown, there's a bit of a hangover, and they fall back to earth. The Bills stayed hungry. They fought off complacency, and they beat a Super Bowl caliber team in the Falcons. And as I say all that praise, I have the Bills with a letdown this week against the Cincinnati Bengals. Why? Well, look, I still think Andy Dalton is a capable quarterback. He played fantastic against the Cleveland Browns last week. I think this is a game where the Bills kind of falter here. We don't really know what we're going to get out of this Buffalo Bills team. And I have a few Bills friends out there, and I'm sure they'll be chirping me later today. But I'm not ready to buy in yet. Not ready to buy in. I like the Browns beating the Jets 17-9, and the stinker of the week there, that one is going to be in Cleveland, First Energy Stadium. I'm going to give Deshaun Kaiser the benefit of the doubt in this one. I think he beats the Jets. I actually like the Lions to beat the Panthers 22-13 in a low-scoring defensive grind. And I like the Dolphins to stun the Titans led by Matt Castle. We do have some commenters. Matt Byers throwing out, Bills are going to stomp the Bengals. You heard it here first. Herd spelled H-E-R-D. Yikes. Orlando saying, Cam, if you think we getting beat that way, you're drunk. Well, you can come test me, Orlando. I am actually very sober. I'm a little wired on caffeine right now. Maybe that's it. But, yeah, I mean, grab a breathalyzer, come on over to Dallas Studios and test me. I'm actually pretty sober, so there you go. Keep throwing in those comments, though, as we move along here in the Week 5 slate. Niners, Colts, Chargers, Giants, Cardinals, Eagles, Jags, Steelers, 49ers, Colts, another gross one. I'm going to take Indianapolis at home. I like the way Jacoby Brissett is playing right now. Brian Hoyer is a train wreck. The Niners need to move on from him. I know he's just a bridge quarterback. And Tom Downey has the Niners taking Josh Rosen in the mock draft that we just talked about. Chargers and Giants, both teams are combined 0-8. This is the Eli Manning game. Of course, Eli didn't want to be in San Diego, so he ended up going to the Giants. I think the Giants get their first win of the year. I think that defense clamps down on the Chargers wide receivers. I think they squeak out a win 24-17. Cardinals versus Eagles. The Eagles are another team I'm not ready to buy in yet. Kind of like with the Bills. I think they're subject to a letdown at some point. Bruce Arians is one of the master game planners in the NFL. I think the Cardinals defense doesn't get a lot of credit. They're highly ranked. I think they get it done in Philadelphia. And the Jaguars versus the Steelers, this one at the big ketchup bottle in Pittsburgh. I actually like the Steelers to win this game, 27-12. I think it's going to be kind of gross. Look, I will say this about the Steelers. There are some interesting transgressions going on with that locker room. First of all, there was a riff in terms of how they wanted to go about the anthem situation and the kneeling and what have you. Then you add on the fact that Antonio Brown last week threw a fit on the sideline in plain view after he ran wide open on a specific route against the Baltimore Ravens, and Big Ben did not see him. Big Ben on Monday going on Pittsburgh radio saying basically that he needs to stop talking like that and stop lashing out and needs to set a better example. So, some riffing going on among the Pittsburgh Steelers players, something to monitor. Their offense doesn't look that great. So I think Jacksonville could possibly hang around here, but I do have Pittsburgh winning at home. They should beat the Jaguars, a team that lost to the Jets last week. Moving on to the next few games here. Ravens battling the Raiders, Seahawks versus Rams, Packers versus Cowboys, Chiefs versus the Texans. The Ravens are battling an E.J. Manuel-led offense in Oakland. I know I'm a Ravens fan. There could be a little bias here involved, but I think Baltimore finds a way to win a scrappy one, 19-10. Are you seriously going to go out and pick E.J. Manuel to win a football game right now? I don't know. I mean, he just only had 1 week of first-team reps this week, and so it doesn't lead me to believe, and it doesn't give me a lot of confidence that the Raiders are going to get it done at home. They didn't look that great with Carr in the lineup, and they're certainly not going to look any better with E.J. Manuel there. Seahawks versus Rams. This one is very tough for me to predict because, look, the Rams have had the Seahawks' number the last couple of years, but I like the way the Hawks performed on Sunday Night Football against the Colts. They absolutely throttled them in that second half, so you have to wonder, are they going to carry that momentum into this week? I do have the Rams winning a tough one, somewhat of a high-scoring baseball score, 14-9. Jared Goff, Sean McVay, Todd Gurley, Sammy Watkins, Andrew Whitworth at left tackle. I'm giving the big fella some credit. They're getting it done there on the offensive side. So give me the Rams in that one. America's Game of the Week on Fox. Joe Buck, Troy Aikman, Packers versus Cowboys. It's made for Hollywood. Give me Dallas to win 35-27. This, of course, a rematch of a playoff battle that went down in Dallas as well last year. Look, I think the Cowboys bounce back in this game. I think they understand that the NFC East is going to be an absolute dogfight with the Eagles and the Redskins still playing well. The Giants are basically out of it, but the Dallas Cowboys, there will be opportunities down the field. Bryce Butler, Dez Bryant, Jason Witten can maybe catch a few passes down the middle. The Packers don't have the corners, the secondary to really match up with the Dallas Cowboys. The Rams did, although that was more of a shootout. I think Dez Bryant has a nice breakout game, and I think Tom Downey of Chat Sports said it on the Cowboys report yesterday that this is the Dez Bryant game where he breaks some scoreboards, if you will. I think he'll break some stat sheets and get it done. Cowboys win 35-27. Sunday Night Football. The Chiefs battling the Texans. And the Chiefs are at 4-0 right now. The Texans actually coming off a really great performance against the Tennessee Titans. They absolutely throttled the Titans at that. And so I think this is going to be a really competitive game. I like the way Alex Smith is playing right now. Alex Smith is number 1 in our MVP power rankings. So this is going to be quite a fun game. If you went to me during the preseason and said this is going to be a game to watch, I would have been like, heck no. But the way in which the Texans are playing on defense, we know what they can do there. Couple that with Deshaun Watson and his electric ability. It'll be a fun one on Sunday night, but give me the Chiefs in that one. It's going to be close, though. Chiefs take it on the road. They go to 5-0, remain the only undefeated team. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that'll do it for me. Those are your NFL picks. This has been the Cam Rogers Show. We'll be back on Monday morning, 10 o'clock Eastern Time. I've got Billy Hurley, the third PGA Tour winner, joining me. Looking forward to that conversation. So enjoy that NFL Sunday. We'll see you.